on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Easy HVAC. So we're out here. We're working on another Lennox unit. We've got a no cool call. So I'm up here trying to figure out what the issue is. The unit is on, and like I said, it's a Lennox unit, and we already have an error code on the control board. So let me go ahead and show you what that is. All right, so there's our error code 47. So we're gonna come over here, look for 47, see what that says. Okay, no 24 volts, AC relay power on A58, G1 board, TB35 1 input. Okay, so no 24 volt power to the relay, or no 24 volt relay power on A58. So let's come over here and find A58. And look, okay, so here's the A58 board, and it said no 24 volt input on TB. Was it TB35? Yeah, TB35-1. So let's come over here to the board and find TB35-1. This is the nice thing about Lennox, because typically everything is labeled, so it's pretty easy to find what you're looking for on the diagram. Okay, so right here, TB35, there it is, -1, -2. So it would be these two wires right here that we should have our 24 volt input. So we're gonna check that and see if we have 24 volts coming into the board, or 24 volts right here. All right, so I've got my leads in. So far, I don't have 24 volts right here. My leads are in all the way, and I do not have 24 volts. Okay, so then the next step, we want to look at our transformers and make sure that we have 24 volts coming from the transformers. I'm going to start with the TB35 transformer. I believe this is the transformer that does supply voltage to the board. And right off the bat, looking at the transformer, the actual connection point, you can see rust right there at the top, on the gray wire. So that could potentially be our issue. So I'm going to unplug this top gray wire and the bottom purple wire and see if we have 24 volts on the load side, the secondary side of the transformer. So there's a primary side and a secondary side of the transformer. The primary side is your high voltage, the secondary side will be your lower voltage. In this case, it's 24 volts. All right, so wire is disconnected. Let's check and see if we have 24 volts out the transformer. Okay, I've got my leads on the transformer, and as you can see, I do not have 24 volts. So that seems to be the issue right there. I have 24 volts on the transformer. This transformer, that top lead is completely rusted. So yeah, guys, it seems like we have a bad transformer, so we're going to replace that transformer. We're also probably going to replace the second transformer as well. While I'm here, I'm going to check the voltage here too, just to make sure. But the contacts of those look pretty bad as well. got 27 volts there at this transformer. And this is T1 transformer control. Okay, so this transformer is actually, it seems like this transformer is for the main board, the A55 board, so the blue board right here, which is why we had power at the main board to begin with. But it seems like that second transformer supplies voltage to this A58 board. So, but regardless, we're probably going to switch out both transformers, simply because the one that does work, the contacts are just pretty rusted out. So yeah, did some troubleshooting. We found a bad transformer, so we're gonna get that replaced, and hopefully that should fix the issue. All right, so we have another transformer, so we're gonna replace this bad one. So I have a short one, right? There's our new transformer. Alright, so we've got the new transformer in. Alright, let's go ahead and turn the unit on. And we'll see if we still have that error code. We'll also see if the unit starts calling for cool. Alright guys, so initially I said that the transformer was bad because we didn't have 24 volts coming out of the secondary side. But turns out the reason we didn't have 24 volts coming out of on the load side was because the transformer was tripped. I forgot that these transformers on the Lennox units do have a resettable breaker. So the reason we didn't have 24 volts was because the breaker was tripped. Now the reason for the trip, I'm just kind of going through the process. What we started with first, we went through, we checked each contactor coil. So we ohmed out each coil, and those were good. Those ohmed out fine. And then we came over here to our ice cube relays, and we also ohmed out the coils on these, the low voltage coils. The trip is low voltage, so we ohmed out the contactors on the low voltage coil. It's a 24 volt coil, and we did the same for these ice cube relays. And so we ohmed those out, and those were also good. They all ohmed out the same, and nothing was shorted to ground. So then we also went through, so of course anytime you have a low voltage short, it's good to just kind of just see what you can find, look around, look at all of your low voltage wires, and see if you can, see any damaged insulation or anything, touching ground like that. So we did that. We checked our relays and our contactors, and then we had a suspicion that it could potentially be the board. So we actually took out a board from another unit. We swapped the board just to see if the breaker would still trip. It would still trip, and it did. So then we eliminated the board as the issue. All right, so the next thing we did, as soon as the unit kicked on, so like as soon as it called for fan, the transformer would trip. So we already ohmed out the contactor. The contactor was good. So the next thing we did was we actually came over to the blower section, and we came over here to see if we could see anything that just kind of stuck out, or to see if we could find anything that was obvious. And looking closer, you see that wire right there, that green wire? See how it's directly touching the metal? So this was actually the issue right here. Now this wire connects to it's attached to the limit switch right here. And after tracing it out, it does go back to the board. And we did confirm that there is voltage on this wire. So we're gonna show you. We're gonna show you that there is voltage on the wire. So maybe, it's easy to get this wire confused. Because it's green, you might think, oh, it's a ground wire. So it's not really that big of a deal. But it does actually connect back to the board. So we're gonna turn the unit on. We're gonna turn the unit on, put it in test mode. Just give it a second here. All right, so we're gonna turn the unit on and show you that we have voltage there on the wire. We are calling for fan right now. I'm just gonna wait for it to kick on. All right. Cool right now. So we have about 14 volts, about 20 volts on that wire. That is a green wire right there. There you go. There we go. So we found a good ground. So 26 volts right there. So that current was passing through that wire. But it was, as you saw earlier, it was on the metal. So that's what was causing the transformer to trip. So yeah, initially we thought the transformer was bad, but it actually ended up being a low voltage short, with that wire being the issue. So, sometimes you come up to a unit and you make one diagnosis, and it turns out that that's not actually the issue. So you may have to do a little bit more digging, a little bit more searching. But you don't always get it right the first time. But good technicians, they look at everything. They don't just leave the problem or leave a temporary fix. But they're thorough, and eventually they're able to solve the issue. So yeah, that's what we did. We got everything working, the fan's on. We actually, I don't know, I think think the space is satisfied, so we're not calling for, or actually, never mind. So we're calling for stage 1 right now. Our compressor should kick on here in a bit. Yep, there go our compressors. So yeah, that was the issue, guys. Thanks for watching. And, you know, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date. Alright guys, we'll see you on the next one.